What is this? How one LGBT community met anti-drag protesters head on. Ooh. Speaking of drag.
Right, yeah, show me the spot.
All right. Well, this is my drag room. There's a lot going on here.
Show me the highlights. What are the highlights?
Some cosplay, Sailor Moon.
Okay, that is
Jupiter.
Jupiter. There we go. I was gonna say that's not Moon. That's Jupiter.
Yes,
okay.
Jupiter's a little butch, so that's why I like her.
All right.
If you know the drag scene in San Antonio, then you know who this is. On any other night, Queen Fantasia might be getting ready for a performance or a karaoke night.
And this is my good old mirror that I stand in when am I ready to go?
But tonight, they're getting ready for something else. A group designated by the FBI as an extremist militia is coming to town to protest a drag show, and Fantasia wants a community to come out to face them. Over the past few months, armed right-wing groups have repeatedly gathered outside drag events, and some venues that hosted shows have been attacked. It's the logical extension of a conspiracy theory that drag shows are some sort of LGBT plot to sexually abuse children. It's now getting airtime on mainstream news channels.
The end goal.
It's so wild that like this is so normalized. I don't know what else to say other than it's just, it plays along with the last two news stories that we covered, not George Santos, but like, you know, obvious fucking insane violent acts that are being done by right wingers. It's just
Is the normalization of pedophilia.
Things are tense in San Antonio because of this undercover footage from a local drag show, selectively edited by right-wing activists to make it look like a young girl was left unattended and being abused. This was a lie. The girl's mother was there, working as a food vendor, but the facts didn't matter. The video went viral, and the club canceled all future drag shows.
When you ask somebody, what is it specifically that you have against drag shows existing? It's, well, we got to protect the kids.
Right.
How do you respond to that?
This is where parenting comes in. You have to choose what your child is ready to be exposed to. I would not take my child to Hooters or to Twin Peaks or to things like that because I see that as kind of sexual. A drag queen is usually more covered up than we think because, one, let me show you something. These pads are what goes underneath 5 layers of tights. Girl, I'm not naked. So we are much more covered than most people think that we are. We are not out here just going to schools and bringing a pole and dancing around in a 2-piece. There's just so many other things I could think of that are more harmful.
It's just like, it's theater, it's theater, it's theater, it's theater. That's why it's so funny when people get mad at Disney. It's like, Disney has had drag baked into it since day one. You know what I mean? Of course it is. It's a theatrical performance. It's a theatrical performance. I'm losing my fucking mind. It's theater. You literally are saying theater is gay, which, by the way, true, it is, and that children should not participate in it, which I don't agree with, okay? I don't care. The theater kids need to participate in theater, okay? The gay kids got to do something, okay? They're fucking bored. Jesus Christ. It's just, this is like a manifestation of like violence being baked into our understanding, our existence, violence being a measure to like control both at the state level and also at the individual level. And this is a bunch of people who are just so fucking bored that they're like, yeah, we got to do something about these theater kids. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire is a great example. We've used it so many times, but like, can you imagine Republicans like boycotting the Mrs. Doubtfire fucking theatrical release or something? That's right, brother. How dare you? Get the fuck out of here. We'll kill you.
To our society and to our children growing up in that society than drag. You know, you outside of a drag show with a gun is not going to help that child.
When we were talking before I came out here, you would tell me that there was a possibility that some of y'all might be coming with guns.
Yeah.
Is that happening tonight?
Everyone's kind of scared about guns being involved in any kind of way, which I don't like guns at all, but it's like we have lost the patience to continue to play the game like they want us to play the game. you are telling us that you're going to come to yet another safe space, which is a drag show, and bring something to assault. We have to bring something to protect. Oh yeah, we're going downtown.
We're here in front of the Aztec Theater where they're having a drag show in here tonight. And there's some protesters who showed up across the street, and they're saying that they're here to protest against.
I'm not kidding. These people are literally the same as like the fucking people who stand outside of abortion clinics. They are fucking insane. This is not the average Republican. This is not the average American. The average American looks at that and goes, that's way more insane than the drag queen shit. Okay? The normal Americans, okay, who are relatively right-wing, certainly, that live in the fucking suburbs, think it's probably weird. Like, drag stuff is weird. They don't have a way to, like, conceptualize it in the way that I described it to you, that it's just theater, that, like, drag has been, like, a part of their culture growing up. Mrs. Doubtfire, Eddie Murphy, all these other fucking things that have happened where, like, people have cross-dressed for humor, for theatrical performances in perpetuity. Even if they don't comprehend that, which they should be able to when you describe it to them, they basically will probably think this is, like, odd. But what this reaction is infinitely more odd. It's way fucking weirder. The fuck are you doing? You're going out there with a megaphone going like, you're a pedophile, you're a pedophile. Like, no. No shot. Okay? No fucking shot do I think some wine mom, okay, living in a fucking Minnesota suburb is going to turn around and, like, agree with these freaks. She's going to think they're being weird and gross, okay? She's going to think you are a psychopath. Like, you have lost your fucking mind. What are you doing? Especially because on the other side, you'd be surprised. No, I'm not. I would not be surprised. I know. You know why I know? Because I look at polls and I look at election results. And the election results showed that this is an awful strategy for the Republican Party to follow through on. You're scaring the hoes. Exactly. Here's why. Are you ready? Because of the legislative battle that was won on gay rights and the normalization of like gay existence, queer existence to a certain degree in both mainstream media, but also like the material restitution offered, again, to a certain degree to gay people and their existence in society, has created a system where, like, the Minnesota mom probably has a kid that is friends with some fucking gay kids in the class. That's it. The Minnesota mom is watching TV shows where there are gay characters, and she loves it. The Minnesota mom secretly wants to be, the term is inappropriate, so I won't use it, but an F-word hag. And she thought that would be really, really fun and cool, potentially. Okay? That's like the average person in America now. Like, oh, it'd be real funny if I had a gay friend who's charismatic. You know what I mean? Someone's a fruit fly? That's way better. Yeah. Them gays, they're so sassy with it. I like that. Okay? Yeah. She probably gets her makeup done at the Sephora counter by the nicest gay guy. Exactly. Nicest gay guy until you say something about Nicki Minaj, obviously. But she's not saying anything about Nicki Minaj, so she's good. You the Psychic, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. So that's my point. My point is that, like, gay people are everywhere, obviously. Duh, because they are. Queer people are everywhere because they are. And now more people, especially younger generations, are more open-minded to that reality. So that's it. You can't fucking put the toothpaste back in the tube no matter how much you try. And that is happening here. Like, in the same way that abortions are done by conservative women as well. And the only people that are, like, objecting to that reality are fucking psychopathic freaks who are like, nah, hell no. Hell no.
pedophiles and child grooming and stuff like that. And then, of course, there's a bunch of people over here.
Panners, you
It's a
decided
good
thank you for the 10
400
gifted subs.
people partying, holding signs, and they are not having it.
You're not going to be able to do this when so many Gen Z identify as queer. You're not going to be able to.
So let's show them what a drag show feels like, honey. Super bass. This one is for the boys with the booming system. Top down AC with the cooling system. When they come up in the club, he be blazing up. That's that on that, like you said, and that.
And yet Roe v. Wade was abolished and there was very little commotion. You think that suburban moms won't go along with the right's plan to eradicate us? I don't know what to tell you. Wait, what? What do you mean? No commotion? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? Bro, nothing happened? Yeah, they didn't start executing people if that's what your expectation was. But if you think that there was no commotion as far as like political backlash, you're probably not paying attention to politics at all. What? What are you talking about? Yeah, 70% of Kansas voted for abortion. Kansas. What are you, what do you mean? There was definitely a fuckload of what is this? What we know about the Gen Z so far? Okay, I don't care about this for the time being. We'll look at this in a little bit. But you're delusional if you think that there was no backlash and then no response. What are you talking about? I'm kind of confused as to what your statement is, unless you think like the backlash was supposed to be like people arming themselves and then like killing people that sit outside of like abortion clinics or something, which, you know, that was never going to happen. But you know, you're wrong if you think that there was no backlash.
Even among the party atmosphere, it was hard not to notice that a lot of the crowd did bring their guns.
I got my side piece, I got my AR.
Okay.
I got the SKS.
Y'all came ready.
With no intention to use them. You're not gonna fear-monger us because you have weapons.
I feel like they like to show up at events with guns to intimidate people. They're using terror for political gains. They're trying to incite people like the Colorado shooter to go kill us at our safe spaces.
Do you think people over here felt more comfortable knowing that there were people like y'all who were armed?
Yes, 100%. The entertainers feel safer with people who are on their side coming armed because they knew they would be.
I didn't want to give the wrong message, of course, but it's true though. Like, if they're gonna come with guns, then we should come with guns too.
Everybody loves their guns here, even the gays.
At this point, it's just the reality of America that like both sides are armed to the fucking teeth, you know? It's just that I don't know how to stop that. Like, I think it's still a bad idea to bring a gun to a crowded event. So, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. When the state doesn't protect you, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's infinitely more understandable for the marginalized who routinely do not get assurances or protection from the state to defend themselves against non-state actors reinforcing that same kind of violence that the state routinely engages in. Right? You always, when all else fails, you need something. You need something to fucking defend yourself with. Like at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, you need a $5 a month subscription. If that fails, you don't have $5 a month, you need at least a Twitch Prime subscription that you can use. If that fails, if you already use your Twitch Prime somewhere else, then you need a gifted sub to get lucky and get gifted a sub so you can, again, avoid the top of the hour ad break, right? Like, it is what it is. What bothers me most is that there's kids there and these psychos bring guns. Yeah, that's like infinitely fucking worse for a child's development than a child seeing a theatrical performance by a drag queen, which is not bad at all. Fucking insane. Anyway, Tsunami Aromatic, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Twin Spanners, thank you for the 5 get the subs. You the Psychic, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 20 people to no longer see the ads. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Under attack, what do we do?
Things did get tense out there, but there wasn't any real violence. Afterwards, Fantasia and some friends went back to a club they usually go to talk.
The amount of guns.
was crazy.
Did you see the guy with the shotgun?
I saw 4 ARs.
I know. I'm like, why do you have that? It's not necessary.
7, 11,
for y'all
thank you for the 10 gifted.
I feel really good about what we did.
Like what happened with Club Q in Colorado, I was just very scared. I saw guys with shotguns and handguns. I mean, on both sides, you know, but still, it made me very uneasy.
This is something that's happening all over the U.S. right now, increasingly, more and more and more. This probably won't be the last time that somebody comes and protests a drag event in San Antonio.
Right, yeah.
What's next?
We're just going to continue. I mean, especially with the group that we've created for the protest, because there are people who will mobilize, as we saw today. There are people who will mobilize. We just have to know how to get the word out, how to continue the momentum, because they're not going to stop. But we're not going to stop either. I'm not worried about that. So.
You're a performer, right? You're an artist, but then every time you're doing your performance, every time you're doing your art, is like you say, it becomes political immediately, even if you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Because somebody else will view it as such.
Drag is politics. I'm a political drag queen. So we all are. You have to embrace that. You have to be ready to combat the ignorance and combat the legislation sometimes. You have to be the leaders of the community. If you're going to be the star of the community, you need to also understand that that comes with a heavy weight. You got a crown on your head as a queen. Okay, you gotta bear the weight of that crown. What does that mean? How are we helping our society, our community? I was out there for Black Lives Matter, and now I'm out here for Gay Lives Matter, the sequel.
Look, just to go to something that you and I have in common, right? There was a point at which a lot of people got very comfortable thinking of Black people as victims. I would argue that that still exists. They're cool when Black people are victims. I think that when Black people decide they want to fight back,
Yeah.
a lot of people who consider themselves to be moderate, reasonable, you know, in the middle, get very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And on the same token, I think there are a lot of people who have gotten used to thinking of LGBTQ people as victims. They're comfortable that way.
Right.
But then if those people, same people, start fighting back, bringing guns to a counter protest, that support, that comfort goes away. You stepping right into that.
We lose the sympathy vote.
You lose the sympathy.
Right. Which I think was a lot of the concern of a lot of the people who were saying that we should not be bringing guns. But is that what it has to take for people to understand what we're going through? I want to believe that we've progressed a little bit further than that we don't have to rely on someone getting hurt or someone getting killed or someone, you know, threatening us for people to listen.
I'm Michael Learmonth, editor-in-chief.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with me today. I have such a bad headache.